That's LAPD. And this is upon, again, publishing video documentation. I just captured the light source over me at 2:37 p.m., speaking to the pattern of conduct that is underway at the state facilitating venue of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court at 8303 Haven Avenue in Rancho Cucamonga at Rancho Cucamonga, California. While I'm on Route 66, that light source remains over me as I capture in images as I walk around. That's coming out of the back portion. LAPD was flying in a circle like the demons that they are. They're not just stalkers engaged in state surveillance, unprecedented criminal conduct, and hypocrisy exposed. They're also demons. This is demonic. And that's what they're showing when they're flying in a circle like that. Very highly demented conduct that a person that wants to conceal first their physical condition, again, their spiritual condition, which is invisible. You cannot see a demon on a person. You can witness it. You can recognize it. You can know it by their behavior. Very highly demented conduct in a demonic environment. Sun rising and setting. Sun moving from the front of the apartment like you saw in video at 2:17, 2:37. That's 20 minutes later. I'm at the back of that apartment building. It's not hovering over the edge of the front of 1806. It's over the back, right over my head at 2:37. And I also juxtapose that with my location at on Route 66 at the same time where I'm at 8303 Haven Avenue. That's Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. The entity, while I'm inside of my office and the light source is moving from the back of that building, while it's in front of me as I walk toward my office, and you see it while I'm capturing Mesrop, criminal presence, engaging in what is commercial stalking. They are here. They're going to federal prison. While all 59 units filled with third parties, they're systematically engaged in that criminal system. Like I said, their prosecution is sure. They're engaged in that system systematically. They're engaged in that stalking surveillance systematically. That's grounds minimum is federal prison. The entity is engaged in what is maintaining that light source as I walk back into my leasing office, where I am, again, engaged in documentation, literally as I review the evidence, a very damning evidence that I just captured. Immediately, the entity that's a psychopath, very hostile to documentation, literally as I look at it. And as I review evidence of where I'm at the same time, at another place, and another time, the entity is flying over. So I want to be clear. Todd Speaker is going to be federally, he's going to be federally prosecuted, but civilly and criminally prosecuted. This is an entity that's engaging in this criminal pattern of conduct in the workplace. Everything that I'm capturing, I'm going to prosecute Todd Speaker for it. Okay. He is directly liable for it. His business is not coincidentally nor ignorant nor under the law shall any company owner or property owner be held without any liability, be held without any fault. This isn't going to be based on that. It's going to be based on a corrupt government that is acting in concert with the people of the state, which is what the pattern of conduct shows. And you're going to be therefore held liable civilly and criminally for the threat to the life that you are posing while your property and business is a malicious means of engaging in that exact same pattern of conduct. You're going to be held civilly and criminally liable for it. You're also going to be published as a group stalker, which is a violent sex offense and terrorism that's underway in the U.S. Are Todd Speaker and Speaker companies for the 14th time today, engaging in what is an ongoing act of terrorism flying over me. I'm now in my office, so flying over my office, and that is again for the 14th time today. I'm not exaggerating. Number 14, I'm going to write down the next time. This is number 14. You saw them flying over my apartment. You saw them flying over my office. They're doing so in the specific environment where the sun is rising and setting, where there is no sun. That's over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, and also over my head at 1806 North Alvarado Street at the same time, ever at any time of year. All right, that is speaking to what is the prosecution of Todd Speaker. He's going on a list maintained by the Department of Justice. Understand the malice that the entity is acting with when they're engaged in state surveillance in the state of California. And your property is sufficient enough to be prosecuted. And this is going to put an onus on the people of the state. If you don't want to be prosecuted, if you don't want to be tethered to or in any way connected to the pattern of conduct, I suggest you not hire third parties. I suggest you not in any way facilitate or incentivize facilitation through the use of your business. And by the way, if your logo is caught engaging in the pattern of conduct, it's civil and criminal prosecution, period. You're understanding what is an unlawful threat to the American citizen. They are not going to have to sit up and decipher whether or not some business owner should be held civilly liable in court. No, this is how you disincentivize. This is how that system implodes. And this is what justice requires, because all of this is going against an American citizen that cannot speak for themselves, who is sitting up most of the time, if their lives have not already been snuffed out, and followed with a false narrative by demons who fly in circles stalking American citizens. Those are the minions that are arriving on the scene of the crime, acting as though they're going to investigate something. Those are demons. Okay, very corrupt. 14, this is number 15, flying over, stalking in helicopters. Those are the demons that are arriving at a crime scene as it's reported to you on the news, talking about they're going to investigate something. They're not investigating anything. Let me be clear. Third parties, business owners, property owners, in any way facilitating the state's pattern of conduct, they will be placed on the list to be maintained by the Department of Justice as group stalkers. That's a violent sex offense and it's terrorism. Understand the people of the state are using the phone as a means of audible activity. All of the entity is listening to me. And you know that because the entity is flying over me 15 times in the day. Okay, that was Genevieve providing her phone number for the federal government to understand that she's monitoring while I'm at the workplace. So the entity is engaging in the provision of a business and the provision of a property to facilitate what is stalking in a helicopter. 15 times is where I'm at right now. And that's starting at 4:50 in the morning where they were flying right over my apartment. Look at the video that I captured. It is currently, by the way, 2:57 p.m. The light source remains directly over my office where LAPD is flying over because these, and I'm not name calling, that's a psychopath that is outraged because they're being exposed. That's a psychopath that flies in a circle like a weirdo while they're obsessively maintaining presence in bed. And you know, they're not going nowhere. They're staying right there in my path, flying, repeatedly crossing path is what this demon is doing while the light source is directly over me at the front of my apartment building. As I walk out of the back of my apartment building, you'll see in that video at 2:37 p.m. that light source follows as I follow, which is what the people of the state are doing. Demons are following, moving where I move, doing so in engineered light. Not the sun, not sunlight, and it's also not normal or innocent presence, and it's not going to be prosecuted as that. And while that pattern of conduct is exposed, everyone else in the world is also going to see what they're doing because it's not rocket science. It's just incredibly wicked. It's currently 2:58 p.m. I don't know if you were paying attention. The entity using the voice of a child to create audible activity while they're crossing path, doing so under the light source. That's why everybody here, children, are going to be taken from the possession, from the custody of the people of the state that are engaging. This is the secret society that currently have children as a means of engaging in that pattern of conduct. This is capturing terrorism. Look at this impossible light activity. All right, and then this is a concentrated light on the ground. This is the environment where the entity, remember the light that's on my the pattern of the blinds appearing above my head in my living room today, while the light source is above my apartment. This is the demonic maintenance of an environment. This is demonic, but it's also speaking to what is prima facie for a state surveillance. An entity flying 15 times over me by helicopter. The unmistakable pattern of conduct. This is a hallmark. Stalking by helicopter is the hallmark. Maintenance of the light source for the duration of the day is a hallmark. That is P.O.C. and that is the absolute prosecution. That is the absolute prosecution of Todd Speaker and Speaker companies. Okay. This is again 2:59 p.m.